Not all wands are created equal. Some are loyal, others unpredictable. Some choose the wizard, others demand to be mastered. But behind every powerful spell, behind every legendary duel, there's one hidden truth most people overlook. It's not just the wood that matters, it's the core. Because deep inside every wand lies a magical substance, pulled from creatures so rare and powerful, even the ministry refuses to name some of them publicly. And depending on what core a wand holds, it can be calm and obedient, or wild and deadly. In this video, we're ranking 20 known wand cores, from the weakest and most basic, all the way to the most terrifying, godlike substance ever used in Wandlore. Some of these were banned. Others, kept secret for centuries. And just wait until you hear what's hidden at number 1, a core tied to death itself. Let's begin. At the very bottom of the list is a core that's as pure as it is predictable. Unicorn Hair. Wand makers love it for its stability, but that's also its weakness. It's the safest option, sure, but also the softest. Wands with unicorn hair are known to produce consistent magic, but rarely anything extraordinary. They resist dark magic, they're extremely loyal, and they almost never backfire. Which sounds great, until you're in a duel against someone who doesn't play by the rules. They're ideal for healers, charm workers, or young witches and wizards just starting out. But when it comes to raw power, versatility, or dark potential, unicorn hair wands simply don't compete. They play it safe. And in the wizarding world, playing it safe doesn't always keep you alive. Delicate, beautiful, and dangerously fragile. Fairy Wing is one of the most lightweight wand cores ever recorded, and for good reason. Its magic is elegant, subtle, and fleeting. While it can produce some of the most visually enchanting spells, its actual power output is weak, and it's notoriously unreliable under pressure. Wands with Fairy Wing cores shine in controlled environments, music-based magic, performance charms, or decorative enchantments. Think floating candles or shimmering illusions, nothing that would ever win a duel or save your life. But the real problem? Durability. These wands are prone to snapping or splintering when forced to cast spells outside their comfort zone. They break under emotional strain, magical resistance. Even weather conditions have been known to affect them. Most wand makers won't touch it, and the ones who do usually make toys, not tools. Fairy Wing may be beautiful, but beauty alone doesn't survive on the battlefield. It's the healer's choice and the pacifist's core. Dittany Stalk is a rare, herb-based wand core. Unlike animal-derived cores, it doesn't channel aggression, power, or destruction. Instead, it's known for enhancing healing spells, protective enchantments, and calming magic. Wands with this core have an almost nurturing presence, steady, peaceful, and precise. But make no mistake, this comes with a cost. Offensive magic? Severely limited. Dark magic? Practically impossible. And in duels, you're better off disarming yourself and running. Dittany Stalk wands are used by medi-wizards, herbologists, and magical caregivers. Their magic is subtle, ideal for repairing, restoring, and preserving life, not for taking it. Which is why it ranks so low on this list. Power isn't just about kindness. Sometimes it's about survival. So while Dittany stock deserves respect for what it can do, it simply doesn't belong in a fight. Brute strength, no finesse, no control. Troll Whisker is one of the most controversial wand cores ever used, and for good reason. Pulled from the coarse facial hairs of mountain trolls, this core channels raw, unrefined, magical energy. It's powerful, yes, but in the same way a wrecking ball is powerful. Unpredictable, blunt, messy. Wands with Troll Whisker are difficult to control, even for experienced casters. They often misfire, overcharge spells, or completely ignore subtle magical intention. Precision charms? Forget it. Subtle hexes? Not a chance. But if you're looking to blast a wall apart or force a door open with sheer magical force, it gets the job done. Most wand makers avoid it. It's too unstable, too wild, and it carries a certain reputation. Trolls aren't exactly known for their intellect or elegance, and unfortunately, neither are the wands made from their whiskers. Troll Whisker wands don't choose the wizard, they survive them. Mysterious, elusive, and dangerously slick, in more ways than one. Kelpie Hair is drawn from a shape-shifting water demon known for drowning its victims and dragging them into the depths. And that chaotic, aquatic energy lives on inside any wand that dares to hold it. Wands with Kelpie Hair are slippery, not just physically, but magically. They're hard to tame, hard to bond with, and their loyalty can shift if the user falters. But for witches and wizards who master them, these wands are powerful tools for transfiguration, water magic, and high-risk enchantments. They shine in unstable environments, stormy conditions, magical flooding, and underwater battles, where most other wands would short out or lose focus. But they come with a warning. Kelpie wands often carry the will of the creature they came from. If the user shows weakness, the wand might stop listening altogether. They're not for the faint-hearted, and certainly not for the dry and predictable. Tame it, and you hold the tide in your hands. Lose control, and it'll drown you in your own spell. Dark, sinister, and downright illegal in some parts of the wizarding world. Acromantula Web, taken from the monstrous human-sized spiders of the Forbidden Forest, is a wand core that's steeped in fear and controversy. It's rare, not because it's hard to find, but because most wand makers refuse to use it. The magic it channels is unsettling, sharp, precise, and often tainted with traces of fear, manipulation, and control. These wands excel in dark arts, stealth magic, and venomous curses. Their spells tend to hit fast and hard, like a spider bite, leaving lingering effects that are hard to shake. Some say these wands sting their user if mishandled. Others claim they develop a taste for fear, growing more powerful when casting under pressure or panic. But the real problem? Acromantula Web is volatile. The threads are prone to magical rot. The wand's lifespan is short, and over time, the core can become corrupted, turning the wand itself into a cursed object. Powerful? Absolutely. But this core comes at a cost. It's not a wand you wield. It's a wand you survive. Silent, elusive, and nearly invisible, just like the creature it comes from. Demiguise Hair is one of the most sought-after wand cores for witches and wizards who value subtlety over spectacle. Known for its use in invisibility cloaks, the Demiguise's magic centers around concealment, foresight, and illusion. Wands with this core are graceful, not explosive. They don't blast down doors. They unlock them quietly. Spells cast with Demiguise hair tend to be smooth, silent, and undetectable. Think disillusionment charms, soft-footed movement, and even spells that hide magical traces, perfect for spies, thieves, or aurors operating undercover. But don't mistake subtlety for weakness. These wands are highly intelligent. They respond best to intuitive magic, not brute force. However, they're also incredibly picky. Many witches and wizards find they can't get one to bond, no matter how skilled they are. If the wand senses the wrong intent, it simply goes cold. Demiguise hair doesn't just require magical ability, it demands patience, precision, and purpose. And if you don't have that, you'll never even see what it's truly capable of. Fierce, unpredictable, and just a little bloodthirsty. Rougarou hair comes from a terrifying werewolf-like creature native to Louisiana, a beast said to stalk the swamps under the light of the full moon. And that wild, aggressive energy doesn't disappear once its hair is sealed inside a wand. In fact, it amplifies. Wands with Rougarou hair are known for being hot-headed and impulsive. They favor bold magic, powerful jinxes, combat spells, and dark charms that most cores struggle to handle. When used by a confident, dominant witch or wizard, they become deadly tools of magical force. But the downside? They can backfire violently. These wands don't tolerate hesitation. If the user wavers, the wand might resist entirely, or worse, misfire with devastating results. Wand makers at Ilvermorny, the North American wizarding school, have long debated whether they should even be sold to young witches and wizards, because when they go wrong, they don't just fail. They bite back. Rougarou hair wands are best left to duelists and dark artists, people who cast without fear and strike without warning. Because once you grip this wand, you're not just casting spells, you're starting a hunt, ancient, regional, and wrapped in American mystery. The White River Monster is a cryptid, a legendary beast said to haunt the murky waters of Arkansas. And its spine, rarely seen, even more rarely harvested. But for wand makers in the American South, it's considered a hidden gem. Wands with this core are sturdy, resilient, and surprisingly adaptive. They produce strong protective spells, barrier charms, and defensive enchantments that can rival much more aggressive cores. They're not flashy. You won't see them launching fireballs across a battlefield, but they'll hold a shield when everything else falls. What makes them unique is their magical resistance. These wands tend to absorb shock, rebound curses, and maintain stability even in high-stress magical environments. Some say it's like casting with the backbone of a fortress. But there's a catch. White River Monster wands can be territorial. They don't bond easily with wizards who travel often or dabble in too many types of magic. They prefer loyalty to a region, a school, or a cause. If you stray too far from who you are, the wand pulls back. So if you want raw firepower, look elsewhere. But if you want a wand that will guard you like a mythical beast, this one never breaks, fast, fierce, and loyal to the death. The Wampus cat is a magical feline native to the Appalachian region, a six-legged predator so powerful even dark creatures steer clear. Its hair, when used as a wand core, creates something truly formidable. Wands with Wampus cat hair are known for their unmatched speed and responsiveness. Spells fire off like lightning, with minimal lag between thought and action. That's why duelists love them, especially in rapid-fire battles where hesitation means defeat. But this core doesn't just respond quickly, it bonds deeply. A Wampus wand picks its wizard with fierce loyalty, and once that bond is made, it rarely, if ever, changes allegiance. It defends its owner, even if it means backfiring on someone else. They're aggressive by nature and tend to push the user toward bold decisions, not unlike the creature they came from. There's instinct baked into this core, and if the user tries to overthink or second-guess, the wand often overrides them. Wampus cat hair isn't for the hesitant or the diplomatic. It's for warriors, hunters, survivors. Because when a spell needs to land before your opponent even moves, this is the wand that makes it happen. Intuitive, ancient, and eerily aware. The Horned Serpent is a legendary magical creature said to possess a jewel on its forehead and an almost psychic connection to its environment. Wands with horned serpent horn are some of the most intelligent feeling wands in existence, and some wand makers believe they don't just channel magic, they understand it. These wands are prized for their sensitivity to the mind. They're ideal for witches and wizards who rely on complex spells, silent casting, or deep magical theory. Some even claim their wand reacts before they finish a thought, predicting spells, shifting its magic, or subtly guiding the caster toward better results. But that mental link can feel invasive. Some users report hearing whispers, feeling nudges, or sensing emotions that don't seem to be their own. It's not malevolent, just too tuned in, like the wand is always listening, always watching. Horned serpent wands don't like lies, hesitation, or confusion. They work best with clear intentions and disciplined minds. Emotional outbursts, chaotic casting, that's when they go cold. This isn't a wand for brute force or flashy duels. It's for the strategist, the seer, the silent genius. Because when your thoughts are sharper than your spells, this wand doesn't just follow, it leads. Beautiful, hypnotic, and dangerously unstable. Veela Hair might be one of the most controversial cores ever placed in a wand. Not because it's weak, but because it's impossible to trust. Veelas, part human magical beings known for their otherworldly beauty and explosive tempers, pass on both traits through their hair. Wands with this core are capable of dazzling magic, spells that charm, seduce, or mesmerize. Glamour charms, emotional manipulation, even performance magic becomes unnaturally powerful when cast through a Veela wand. But here's the dark twist. That beauty comes with rage. These wands are wild. They surge under emotional pressure, backfire when disrespected, and tend to act on the caster's mood rather than their actual command. That makes them unpredictable. One moment graceful, the next explosive. In fact, Garrick Ollivander, the most famous wand maker in the wizarding world, flat out refused to use Veela Hair. He called it unstable, dangerous, seductive in all the wrong ways. Still, those who can tame a Veela wand often develop an eerie connection to it, like the wand knows how to get what it wants, even if you don't. This core doesn't just cast spells, it tempts you to cast them, explosive, majestic, and always one lightning bolt away from chaos. The Thunderbird, a powerful magical creature native to North America, is said to create storms as it flies, and its tail feathers carry that same wild electric energy. wands with this core are dramatic, often casting with bursts of power that are more spectacle than subtlety. These wands thrive on emotional intensity. The more charged the moment, the stronger the magic. They're known for amplifying spells beyond their typical limits, whether that's a defensive barrier erupting like a shockwave or a simple stunning spell blasting someone off their feet. But here's the thing. They're unpredictable. The same way a storm can shift directions without warning, Thunderbird wands are known to cast differently depending on the emotional and magical atmosphere around them. The results can be breathtaking or catastrophic. They're ideal for adventurers, high-stakes duelists, or witches and wizards who embrace chaos rather than control. But don't expect consistency. These wands don't follow. They react. And sometimes, they strike before you even raise your hand. If you want power that shakes the sky, this is your wand. Just hope it doesn't strike you too. Forbidden, lethal, and soaked in dark legend. Few creatures in the magical world are feared like the Basilisk, a serpent so deadly its gaze can kill. So it should come as no surprise that a wand made from basilisk horn carries that same terrifying energy. And then some. These wands are immensely powerful, especially in the hands of dark wizards. The magic they channel is aggressive, precise, and often corrosive, not just metaphorically, but literally. Some users have reported the wand eroding nearby magical objects or poisoning potions simply by being in the same room. It's not just destructive, it's hungry. Because basilisk horn wands are rumored to feed off fear and domination. They respond best when the user is asserting control, when spells are cast not to defend, but to overpower. That makes them nearly useless to benevolent casters, and terrifyingly effective to those with darker intent. Oh, and one more thing. These wands are illegal in many countries. The trade of basilisk materials is banned, and most wand makers wouldn't touch it even if they could. It's seen as too dangerous, too unpredictable, too cursed. But for those who don't care about rules or morals, it's a wand that commands not just magic, but obedience, massive, relentless, and practically untamable. The Graffhorn is one of the most dangerous magical beasts in existence, with tough, rubbery skin that repels spells and the strength to crush anything in its path. Its horn, when ground and crafted properly, creates a wand core that's almost brutally powerful. Wands made with Graffhorn horn are known for channeling raw, elemental force. There's no elegance, no finesse, just overwhelming magical pressure. They don't just break through enchantments, they bulldoze them. If most wands slice, Graffhorn wands smash. But with that power comes a heavy cost. They're stubborn, violently resistant to bonding. Many never choose a wizard at all, and the ones that do often end up overpowering their users if they're not careful. Even seasoned duelists have described casting with a Graffhorn wand like trying to ride a stampede. They're also incredibly rare. The Graffhorn is an endangered species, and harvesting its horn is both controversial and dangerous. In some parts of the magical world, owning one of these wands is a statement. You don't just want magic, you want to dominate it. If you can tame it, this wand will make you nearly unstoppable. But if you can't, it'll crush you before your spell even finishes. Explosive, volatile, and flat-out dangerous, even to its master. The Chimaera is a terrifying magical creature, part lion, part goat, part dragon, and every part deadly. Just surviving an encounter with one is rare. Extracting one of its scales? Nearly impossible. That's why wands with Chimaera scale cores are not just rare, they're practically mythical. These wands are known for producing chaotic, high-impact spells. Fire, destruction, transformation. Anything wild or uncontrollable, this wand amplifies it tenfold. You don't ease into a Chimaera wand, you unleash it. But here's the catch. They're so powerful, they're considered too unstable for regular use. Even expert wand makers hesitate to craft them. One wrong flick, one poorly focused spell, and you might not just backfire. You might blow a hole in the wall, or worse. They're not illegal, but they're heavily restricted, and they're almost never sold, because most wand makers know that if the wand doesn't kill you, the magic might. This is the kind of wand you find in a vault, hidden away, gathering dust, not because it's forgotten, but because it's feared. So if you're after raw, unfiltered power with no safety net, this might be the wand for you. Just don't expect to survive long enough to master it. Invisible, mournful, and bound to death itself. Thestrals, eerie, skeletal winged horses, can only be seen by those who've witnessed death. Their magic is just as elusive and just as haunting. When used as a wand core, Thestral Tail Hair creates something deeply powerful, but also deeply unsettling. These wands are rare, not just because Thestrals are difficult to approach, but because their magic demands experience. Not technical experience, emotional, pain, loss, a brush with the other side. If a wizard hasn't truly known death, the wand won't respond. It may not even be seen. But for those who have, this core offers something chillingly unique, a direct line to death magic. Spells involving the soul, concealment, resurrection, or even the manipulation of fate become amplified. These wands don't just cast magic, they whisper to the beyond. That's why the Elder Wand, the most powerful wand in history, is believed to have a thestral core, not because of brute strength, but because of its deep connection to the unknown. But the cost is steep. Thestral wands often bond for life. They may grow darker with their user's emotions, and some say they even mourn when separated from their owner. This wand doesn't choose the strongest wizard. It chooses the one who's already lost something. Fiery, unforgiving, and born from the heart of a beast. Dragon Heartstring is one of the most well-known and most intense wand cores in the wizarding world. Sourced from the very heart of a dragon, it channels magic that's bold, aggressive, and dangerously efficient. No other core responds with such speed or force. It's like casting through a living flame. These wands are incredibly powerful in skilled hands. Spells come quicker, hit harder, and push further. They favor magic that takes control. Offensive spells, transfiguration, and powerful enchantments. But here's the twist. They lack patience. Dragon Heartstring wands are famously temperamental. They demand a strong hand and an even stronger will. If the user falters, shows weakness, or hesitates mid-cast, the wand might rebel. It could snap, lash back, or even burn its user. Loyalty doesn't come easily either. These wands bond fast, but also switch allegiance faster than any other core if they find a more powerful wizard. In battle, they're devastating. In training, they're dangerous. and in the wrong hands, they're lethal. This is a wand for warriors, not thinkers, not dreamers, just fire and will, rare, mysterious, and tied to destiny itself. The phoenix is a creature of legend, reborn from its own ashes, immortal in spirit, and fiercely independent. A feather from such a being doesn't just make a wand powerful, it makes it extraordinary. Phoenix feather cores are among the rarest in existence. They're known for producing the widest range of magic, from delicate charms to devastating curses. But they don't give up that power easily. These wands are selective, often choosing owners who are destined for greatness or tragedy. They're also incredibly loyal. Once bonded, they rarely change allegiance. But that loyalty doesn't mean obedience. Phoenix wands are known to think for themselves. They may resist spells they deem unworthy or act on their own in moments of crisis, casting without command or even protecting their owner instinctively. Only a few witches and wizards have ever wielded Phoenix wands. Two of them, Harry Potter and Lord Voldemort, both chosen by feathers from the same bird, Fawkes, Dumbledore's own phoenix. And we all know how that turned out. These wands aren't made for ordinary lives. They choose those with purpose, often heavy, painful, or world-altering. Phoenix feather doesn't just amplify your magic. It tests your soul. This is it, the wand of legends, the one whispered about in stories, hunted in secret, and feared by even the greatest wizards in history. The Elder Wand, crafted from elder wood, yes, but its true power comes from its core, Thestral Tail Hair, a substance tied to death and mastery over it. Unlike other wands, the Elder Wand doesn't just amplify magic, it elevates it beyond natural limits. Spells cast from it are stronger, sharper, faster. It doesn't break under strain. It doesn't falter under pressure. And in the hands of a true master, it becomes unbeatable. But it's not just the power that's terrifying. It's how the wand chooses its master. You can't win its loyalty with talent or kindness. You must defeat the previous owner, often in battle, often through blood. It's not passed down, it's taken. And because of that, it's cursed, not by magic, but by history. Every wizard who's owned the Elder Wand has eventually fallen, not because it betrayed them, but because power that great never goes unnoticed. Others will always come for it. Friends, enemies, even fate itself. This wand isn't a tool. It's a weapon of legacy, of death, of godlike consequence. And if you think you're strong enough to wield it, just remember, everyone who thought that is dead. So there you have it, 20 wand cores, ranked from the meek and gentle to the cursed, the deadly, and the godlike. Some were made for healing, some for war, and some should have never been made at all. But here's the truth. A wand core doesn't just shape your magic, it reveals something about you, your intentions, your limits, your future. Because in the end, the question isn't which wand is the strongest. It's which one would choose you. So, if rules didn't matter and the danger didn't scare you, which core would you wield? Let me know in the comments. And remember, power always comes at a price.